So I've started to realize lately, like the last, I don't know, week, 2 weeks, I've been, I guess, just a little bit more like down and feeling negative, particularly like about myself, and feeling like, shit, man, like I've been putting in a lot of work to try and be a better person and try and have better understanding of myself and who I am. And the feeling that I've been having is like, it's not good. Like it doesn't seem to be working, I guess would be like the simple view of it. And there's like little instances, like how I handle an interaction with my son, or when I get overwhelmed and stressed about something and I don't handle it right, or get into an argument with my wife about something, or make a bad decision, whatever it is. And like it starts to translate into this place of like, I feel like in some ways, either I'm a worse person now than I was before, or at the least, like I'm not a better person. And in many ways, I feel worse. And for a time, I was feeling like, I don't know, just very negative about that. And didn't really have a conclusion, but just like this, something doesn't feel good or right about it. Now, caveat, as I always do, what I'm about to say may be my mind justifying. It may be what I would call cognitive out to make myself feel better. But I think the logic holds. I think if you follow the thread, the logic is there. What I'm thinking is that this is, although shitty and doesn't feel good, it comes with the territory. What I talk about maybe more than anything is gaining clarity. I think that's so unbelievably valuable. Our mind does so much, intentionally or unintentionally, to cloud things up. The world does so much to cloud things up, where it's so hard to ever really know what the objective truth is, to really have a clear picture on something. And so much of what I'm trying to do is to break through that, to get clarity, to have a clearer view of what things are, and what I value, what matters, who I am, etc. And I think that maybe this is a sign of progress towards that. The flaws that I have as a person, right? Sometimes I have a bad temper, I easily get overwhelmed, sometimes I don't handle stress well. Those flaws are always there, and I've known about them to an extent. But as I'm doing more work to gain clarity on myself, I'm getting exactly that. I'm getting a clearer picture of those flaws, and I'm much more attuned to when they happen, and I spot them, and I'm much more sensitive to them. And it's a much clearer picture when they do happen of like, oh man, I didn't handle that right. So at a very kind of not superficial, but at a very like preliminary level or initial level, that feels bad. Like there's more negative coming in. I have more clarity on the things that I'm not good at, the areas where I need to improve. And you could take the superficial view and say like, that doesn't feel good. I don't like that. Or I'm just a shitty person, or you can go wherever you want to go with that. But I think the right approach, the big L logical approach, the right way to respond to that is to say what you should always say to new input or more input. Good. I want this input. The truth is the truth, whether I acknowledge it, believe it, admit it, see it, or not. It's the truth. So the fact that I have this clearer picture, although that does bring discomfort, and it does make me feel bad at times and question, who I am as a person, and if I'm as good as I'd like to think I am, I think it's necessary. It's necessary for me to improve and to get better. You have to kind of swim in that discomfort and that pain and that questioning of yourself, because none of us are perfect. And that's all that's being highlighted here. And I knew that before. Maybe I know it in a much clearer way. Maybe it's much harder to hide from now, and that's difficult. But that's better. It's better to know that. And I'm trying to take that mindset to it, to not get too negative, and to see the positive, and to see it as an opportunity to improve, because that's what this is all about. The clarity is important, not just to have clarity for clarity's sake. It's important so that you can take the actions you need to take to get to the place you want to get to. And first you have to kind of go through this. I've talked about this before, right? Like first you fail. Anytime you're trying to get better at something, almost by definition, you're going to fail first because you're not very good at it. But now when you have really good clarity on those failures, they feel worse. And that's what makes this so hard. But it's also what makes it so rewarding and beneficial if you could get there. Because to be able to take those right actions and correct these things that so obviously are wrong, that should have a significant impact on quality of life. And that's the hope.